見到啲飄過嚟我都走，
好啦，佢仲踢用呢句嘢。
我就唔出啦。搭狗啊，上次搭狗嚟。開直播啦，
没办法。
派啊？你哋信唔信？
我今日有個額外點到嘅，
即係呢排咁多啲嘢，今日都得。
佢哋日日都有嘅，證明啲人唔知啦。咩啊？九龍灣嗰陣時，
不嬲都有做開嘅，唔係生手嚟嘅，放心啦。開盤咧，第一份先講係乜嘢？講星期日啦，定係講今朝炒車？早晨。哇！應該講 good afternoon， 即係開為升喎。係啊，封殺。
嗰度我係知道你。
佢有真係好大可能真係會講個火車先。
大家早晨，歡迎大家嚟今日嘅記者會。行政長官會先向大家發言，之後會接受大家提問。而家先請行政長官。
各位傳媒朋友早晨，我先講幾點嚇。喺啱啱過去嘅週末咧，我哋又見到好多嘅激進嘅人士係大肆破壞一啲公共嘅設施同埋一啲港鐵站，呢啲行為咧係危害我哋社會嘅安全嘅嚇。更加令人擔憂係我哋見到喺唔同嘅地區有啲唔同立場、唔同政見嘅人士，最初係大家表達意見啦，繼而咧就口角，更甚咧就係動武嚇，就引起咗好多嘅呢啲嘅爭執。我喺呢度呼籲咧，我哋香港係一個包容和諧嘅社會，我希望唔同政見、唔同背景嘅人士咧，都係用一個和平理性嘅方法去享有佢哋自己表達意見嘅自由嚇。如果係訴諸武力，只會令到個問題係越嚟越複雜，令到香港嘅社會嘅撕裂越嚟越深化，令到我哋想行出呢個困局、進入去復修嘅路咧，係越嚟越漫長嚇。呢個對於整體香港社會咧，都係一個非常之不利嘅情況嚇。喺每一次有呢啲爭執嘅時候，當然雙方都會去報警，要求警方嚟到去介入。我喺呢度強調，香港警隊喺執法同埋維護治安方面呢，係不偏不倚，係一視同仁嘅。所以對於坊間有啲對我哋警隊係極不公道嘅批評呢，我喺呢度嚴正指出，我係完全不認同。我亦都係非常肯定咧，警隊喺佢哋咁困難嘅情況之下，要將兩批已經係非常之躁動、不同政見嘅人，相對能夠和平咁處理咧，實在唔係一個容易嘅工作嚇。跟住咧，我想講講，因為大家都留意到喺聽日傍晚時分呢，我哋將會喺政府總部有一場係同18區嘅區議員嘅見面。我喺呢度重申呢一場嘅見面呢，並唔係我喺4個行動裏邊所謂我同司局長會走入社區同不同階層、不同背景、不同政見嘅人士直接對話，去聆聽佢哋嘅意見。佢並不是呢一種嘅走入社區嘅對話，因為如果係走入社區，一定要走入社區。而家亦都希望咧係同不同背景、不同政見嘅人士直接嚟到去聽佢哋嘅意見嘅。咁呢一場同區議員見面係乜嘢嘅性質咧？喺呢度咧，我都反覆講過咧，過去3個月，我作為行政長官咧，都繼續係履行行政長官唔同嘅工作。一方面嘅工作就係當香港嘅社會發生咗咁大嘅紛爭，我都有責任去聆聽 喺唔同界別裏邊唔同背景嘅人士佢嘅意見。呢啲絕大部分嘅聆聽同埋會面呢，都係閉門進行，因為亦都希望佢哋能夠喺無拘無束嘅環境之下向我表達嘅意見。呢一類嘅工作呢，已經進行咗超過100場嚇，亦都見咗各界嘅人士，甚至包括有啲係直接參與喺示威裏邊嘅人士，我都係好願意聽佢哋嘅聲音嘅。咁所以區議員亦都係一個好大嘅組群啦。呢400多位嘅區議員呢，都係民意嘅代表，尤其是區議會本屆嘅區議會呢，將好快呢就結束嚇。咁所以民政事務局局長呢，都係建議應該有一場呢係同區議員呢嚟到去交流，咁所以就安排咗呢一場嘅會面嚇。另一個嘅工作亦都喺過去呢1-2個月進行，就係籌備2019年嘅施政報告。呢本施政報告呢，係喺一個相當困難嘅環境之下呢嚟到去籌備，但我好感謝各界仍然都係樂意出席呢啲有關施政報告嘅諮詢會。咁絕大部分亦都係閉門進行嘅。到而家呢，已經係做咗20場。如果大家留意我琴日嘅 Facebook 呢，琴日嗰場係有關土地同埋房屋，係特別熱烈嘅。咁所以一共呢係4小時嘅會面，30幾位喺房屋土地富有經驗嘅朋友呢，係暢所欲言咁同我反映咗佢哋對於香港今日面對土地短缺同埋房屋不足嘅之下，特區政府應該採取啲咩措施。第3個我想講呢，就係剛才講嘅對話啦嚇，即係呢個對話嘅方式呢，我哋經過咗10多日嘅籌備啦，今日可以同大家講一講嘅呢個對話嘅平台呢，係有幾個大嘅原則嘅。第一呢，就個對象係要廣泛，係不分階層、不分立場。咁所以剛才講嗰2類呢，都並不是可以滿足到呢個大原則，因為好多都係某一個組群去談某一件事嘅。第2個大原則呢，我哋盡量係公開透明，等到傳媒呢可以喺現場採訪嚇。第3呢，個議題亦都係開放，即係我哋冇一個特定話傾房屋啊、傾教育嘅議題，咁希望能夠百花齊放啦。咁同埋政府唔係唯一可以建設呢個平台嘅方面，我哋都歡迎社會各界呢可以提供更加多嘅平台，鼓勵更加多嘅對話，因為對話一定係比對抗好，亦都可以喺對話嘅過程裏邊呢能夠互相更加深入了解大家嘅唔同嘅睇法啦。咁喺過去呢2個禮拜呢，我都聽咗好多意見，關於點樣去構建呢個對話嘅平台，滿足到我剛才講嘅幾個原則啦。而家我哋初步構思呢，呢個對話平台將會有以下3種嘅形式嚇，3種形式都會同步進行嘅，即係唔係話3取其一嗱，我哋3種形式都會做嘅。第一種呢，就喺唔同嘅地區去舉行，俾市民自由報名去參與嘅對話。呢啲對話正如我所講咧，盡量係公開嚇，除非真係到時有啲好特別嘅情況啦，否則咧一定係公開進行。視乎個別嘅場地嘅大細咧，每場對話預計大概都係100到200人。咁如果報名嘅市民人數好多咧，我哋就會透過抽籤咧嚟到去分配呢啲名額。第一場屬於呢個形式嘅社區對話咧，將會喺下個星期就舉辦，咁稍後呢，我有關嘅同事會公布嗰啲詳情啦。第2種嘅形式呢，就係隨機去抽取唔同嘅年齡、階層、背景嘅市民參與嘅對話。咁即係呢個應該會比一個市民自由報名參加呢更加相對有啲代表性嚇，因為係代表社會各個階層啦，務求令到呢個討論呢能夠更加多角度、更加深入。我哋需要做一啲準備嘅功夫嘅，因此咧稍後先能夠安排到呢一種對話嘅形式。第3咧就係儘管我話希望都係盡量走入社區同埋開放啦，但畢竟有啲朋友都係嚟自唔同嘅界別嘅，佢哋係好希望同我哋進行一啲深度嘅對話，即係傾得詳細一啲嚇，傾得深入一啲嚇。呢一類對話每場嘅人數咧大約係20人左右嚇。事實上，由6月開始咧，我哋已經試行咗呢個類似形式嘅對話，個效果係唔錯嘅。 因為呢20人咧都係嚟自唔同嘅背景，佢哋之間可以互動，亦都同我或者我嘅司局長咧係一齊可以交流嘅，就幫我哋了解社會個情況啦。就除咗我剛才講3個形式嘅對話之外咧，自從我喺8月底公佈咗會構建呢個對話平台，喺9月4日嘅4個行動裏邊更加具體承諾要做呢個對話咧，係收到唔少民間嘅組織，包括學校啦、社福機構啦、地區組織，都係主動話佢哋都想安排呢啲嘅不同形式嘅對話或者分享會，希望官員能夠出席，無論係公開或者係閉門，只要情況許可咧，我同埋我嘅司局長咧都會係好積極考慮參與由民間自己籌組嘅平台嘅。正如我剛才所講咧，其中嘅原則咧就係個議題應該開放，咁所以我哋並冇特定一個議題，但係經過咗3個月嘅紛爭咧，大家都有個共識或者有個認識啦，就係香港社會係真係積累咗好多深層次嘅經濟、社會甚至係政治方面嘅問題。咁希望呢啲不同形式嘅對話能夠提供一個平台，我哋去進入討論啦嚇。但係我必須喺呢度強調咧，對話平台唔係等於就唔需要嚴正執法。今日擺喺我哋眼前首要咧仍然係壓止呢個暴力。所以我剛才開場白第一點咧，都係話上個週末睇到有升級嘅暴力、肆意嘅破壞，係令到好多市民係非常之擔心嘅。咁所以我哋仍然係會喺壓止暴力嗰方面、嚴正執法嗰方面呢，係繼續堅持我哋嘅工作。對話平台可能係只係第一步，但係呢第一步係好緊要嘅。我哋希望透過呢第一步再行落去呢，能夠幫香港走出現在呢個令人非常之擔心嘅困局。然後我哋再讓香港呢重新出發。多謝大家。
而家提問時間，請大家先舉手，然後用咪發問。Please use the microphone when you ask the question。黑衫呢位，
林太你好，新聞台記者戴祖儀，想問下其實咧頭先都或者政府嘅新聞稿或者係你自己頭先嘅開場白咧都講咗係星期日嘅即係一啲衝突啦。咁你又點樣去回應喺星期日下晝其實都有唔少嘅市民咧係雖然喺冇即係不反對通知書之下咧，都係走到上街，係要求你回應5大訴求。你點樣回應呢一啲嘅即係走上街嘅市民咧？另外一個問題就係咧，其實你自己頭先都講到啦，8月20號你就已經提出咧要建立一個對話平台。咁其實睇下今日咧已經係9月17號，咁亦都係即係你講到下個禮拜會有第一場。其實一個對話需唔需要咁複雜啦？即係要用1個月嘅時間都仲未處理好啦。而上個星期咧，即係見到你去探訪老人院嘅時候咧，都即係出面有一啲嘅示威者。你點樣評估你而家走落社區嘅時候嗰個民情會點咧？點解？
第一咧就喺9月4日我作嘅錄影嘅講話咧，係希望全面好認真咁咧回應因修例引起嘅訴求嚇。亦都係非常之徹底咁回應咗最重要由始至終提得最重要嘅訴求咧，就係完全咁去撤回呢條例草案嚇。當然撤回嘅技術工作將會喺立法會復會之後先進行。至於其他嘅訴求，我亦都喺嗰個講話裏邊咧係詳細回應咗。呢個亦都係政府考慮咗好多因素之後作出嗰個決定。而事實上喺我哋接觸嘅好多人士裏邊呢，對於某一啲嘅訴求，大家都認為咧係同香港嘅核心價值咧係對着嘅嚇。譬如你話完全係唔需要理會香港嘅法治精神，嚟到不作檢控、不作追究一啲違法嘅人士咧，都未必得到所有嘅社會人士嘅支持。咁所以我希望我哋透過嘅對話平台咧，而家能夠向前看。點樣能夠可以處理到香港深層次嘅問題？冇錯，我哋喺早前呢都係已經提出要建立呢個溝通平台。我頭先都解釋咗啦，其實我哋嘅工作可能喺8月20號之前已經開始咗，就係某一種嘅形式，好深度咁去討論 同埋去聽意見，點樣去有效建立呢個平台嘅工作，其實係進行咗一段日子。但係真正走入社區，剛才講好開放，無前設咁去做咧，係需要有啲籌備嘅嚇。呢個亦都係等於你提嘅第三個問題。作為行政長官，我係仍然有信心，仍然好堅持做翻行政長官多方面嘅工作，包括去關心弱勢社群，包括喺節日嘅期間去探訪嗰啲老人，包括我哋可能要去主禮。雖然喺好困難嘅情況之下，有人會動員嚟到去等我啦嚇，咁但係我都係堅持要做，因為我係香港特別行政區嘅行政長官，我要履行我多方面嘅功能。咁所以即使下個禮拜呢一場走入社區嘅直接嘅對話咧，會引起咗同樣嘅場面咧，我同我嘅同事咧都有呢個足夠嘅心理準備嚇。但係我真係希望咧，既然社會上真係有深層次嘅問題，既然有朋友都認為對話係比對抗好，我哋就讓呢個對話嘅平台咧能夠相對順利咁展開。我喺呢度強調咧，呢一種嘅直接嘅對話，佢係會持續嘅，佢個量同埋質係同樣重要嚇。咁所以唔會係一次，咁所以如果第一次我哋未必好成功，並不會令到我哋卻步，我哋會繼續堅持喺未來嘅日子裏邊咧，爭取更加多嘅機會，同不同背景嘅市民直接對話。
下一條，白衫呢位女記者。
Hi, RTHK, Mr. Slam. So first of all, you talked about starting this dialogue platform with the first session starting next week. So what exactly are you expecting from the dialogue session next week, given the public distrust and public anger towards you and your administration? And my second question is that you spoke about what happened on the weekend, and we witnessed different people with different political views engaging in brawls, basically. But we don't really see a lot of government condemnation on those who attacked people, those who believe that they who are believed to be pro-Beijing and pro-government or pro-police. So what do you say about, does this constitute to people's distrust in the police, people's accusation in the police with regards to allegedly being selective in their prosecution, arrest, and treatment of suspects? And my third question is, you've repeatedly rejected the demand for the setting up of a commission of inquiry. But aside from addressing alleged police brutality and their handling of the protests, it's also about the accountability of the government, investigating the decision-making within your administration by senior officials. So how are you addressing that part? Thank you.
Well, first of all, the first question about the dialogue platform. We are holding the first session next week, and this is an open dialogue platform, which we will invite people from all walks of life to come to express their views to us. This is because of our conviction that communication is far better than confrontation. I hope there is no doubt by now that after 3 months of social unrest, after formal withdrawal of the bill, which apparently has set off this social unrest, people now realize that it is not just about the bill. The problems go well beyond a bill. So it is important for the government to listen and to engage the community to have a better understanding of those problems. Of course, I understand some of these problems about housing, about land shortage, about less diversity, less inclusiveness in our economy, and so on. But since we are going into a new style of governance that is more open and more people-oriented, I think this sort of dialogue will be very helpful. So that is the purpose of creating that dialogue. And I can assure you that this is not a sort of one-off gimmick type of function. It is intended to be organized on a very sustainable and perhaps long-term basis. So the volume of having this sort of dialogue sessions is also very important to us. The second question is about weekend protests and confrontations and maybe even fighting between groups of people with different political backgrounds or different stances on individual subjects. I have to make it absolutely clear that the government condemns all forms of violence. Our condemnation is not politically driven. In the same way, police arrest and subsequent prosecution by the Department of Justice in an impartial manner are not politically driven. We act in strict accordance with the law based on the facts. So nobody should speculate or allege either my government or the police for being selective in the work that we are doing. This is something which is not acceptable in a place like Hong Kong, which we are so proud of the rule of law. The third question is about the demands. We have already responded to the most pertinent demand from the people. If the social unrest was created by the bill, actually within days, I suspended the bill and stopped all the work. But having listened to the people and to create the necessary conditions for this dialogue, I formally withdraw the bill. Of course, the technical legal procedure will have to wait for the commencement of the Legislative Council. But I made it very clear on the 4th of September as one of the 4 actions to start a dialogue that we will withdraw the bill. And similarly, we have pledged full support to the Independent Police Commission, Independent Police Complaints Council to undertake this very full fact-finding, or now called thematic study, to understand the actual situation that has happened over the last 3 months. As far as the government's point of view, I have acknowledged almost 3 months ago of what has gone wrong in promoting this bill or undertaking this legislative exercise. We have fully reflected on the inadequacies of the government on various fronts, and I'm happy to repeat them when an opportunity arises for us to explain what has happened.
But people are asking nobody to punish within the administration. It's not only about you being passionate and being responsible and leading Hong Kong out of the crisis. People are asking, why are you still? Why is nobody in the government, within the government, being punished for what has happened? Hong Kong is suffering. Sure. Businesses are suffering. Hong Kong has been down. Moody's and Fitch have downgraded their outlook on Hong Kong.
Well, I uphold this principle of accountability, but at the moment, it is all for us to see that Hong Kong is undergoing a very difficult situation. And sanctions or punishment are not going to help lift Hong Kong out of this very difficult situation. We need to work as a team, not only within the government, but also with a community and a society at large, to overcome the current difficulties. And that's why we all take up the challenge to continue to serve the people of Hong Kong and work even harder in engaging and listening to the people in order to achieve that particular objective. Yeah.
Gentlemen at the back. Yes.
Hi, a question from Reuters. 2 questions, actually. First question is, Moody's, the credit rating agency, has downgraded its outlook for Hong Kong from stable to negative. What's your comment? And the second question is, according to a number of reports, the Hong Kong government has sought to hire PR firms to revamp its public image. Is this true? And is it true that the PR firms have rejected these bids? And if so, what's the Hong Kong government's plan with regard to restoring its image? Thank you.
Well, first of all, the Financial Secretary has already issued a very detailed statement about Moody's decision yesterday. to change the outlook of Hong Kong's rating from stable to negative, of course, is something that we find disappointing, and we do not concur, especially if the justifications for that sort of change in outlook was premised on whether we are still upholding one country, two systems, whether Hong Kong's institutions are as strong and robust as previously, whether more integration with the mainland economy will blur the two systems. So premising on those bases, we do not agree with the negative rating. But as I have commented on a previous rating decision, the continued instability and social unrest in Hong Kong, as we have seen some of these violent acts from time to time, will inevitably undermine and adversely affect international perception about Hong Kong's business environment. So this is something that we have to be very alert to, and that's why I said, while creating this dialogue platform, the first priority is still to stop this violence and to restore law and order in Hong Kong as soon as possible. About your second point, the government from time to time will have to find some outside help in the form of consultancies to advise us or to actually help us to execute some of our local as well as overseas promotion work. And I could confirm that at the one point in time, we did have that idea of sort of approaching some international PR firms to provide some of those advice. So this is something that has happened. Okay? The advice we have been given is the time is not right, because we are still in this sort of social unrest, disturbance, and violent acts and vandalism on such a regular basis. It would perhaps be not the most cost-effective way to use the government resources to launch any campaign to rebuild Hong Kong's reputation. But sooner or later, we will have to do it, because I have every confidence in Hong Kong's fundamentals. Similarly, in responding to Moody's decision, our statement stressed that Hong Kong's fundamentals remain very strong, whether it is one country, two systems, the rule of law, our connectivity, our many opportunities arising from national initiatives, and so on and so on. So the time will come for us to launch a major campaign to restore some of the damage done to Hong Kong's reputation as a result of what has happened in the last few months.
最後一條，第二排戴眼鏡嗰位。
特首你好，我们是中央广播电视总台的记者。我们注意到，在上周末的非法游行和暴力的破坏活动中呢，有参与的黑衣蒙面人被市民扯下面罩，后来呢就有消息显示这位人士是某个政府部门的公务员。想问一下，对于有个别的公务员参与非法的游行及暴力的破坏活动，除了警方的严正执法，特区政府会有什么样的约束和这个管理的机制？谢谢。
非常的遗憾，在这个几个月的示威这个过程里边，据我理解是有这个公务员参与的，也有参与示威游行，表达个人的意见，以一种非常的和平，这个对大部分的公务员是可以的啊。有部分的其他的公务员是受到公务员的规例的限制啊，这个也是公开的资料。但是被警方拘捕的，据我理解是有个别的公务员。我们对这个情况是深感遗憾，也肯定会采取有关的这个行动啊。但是我在这里也不太方便公布我们就个别公务员采取的行动。我重申，对于公务员这个违反法律，这个是一定不会允许的啊！我们会按照我们的公务员的这个条例采取应该采取的行动。但是我必须强调，我们是一个超过18万的公务员的队伍，而且在过去3个月，我的公务员的同事，无论是在这个警队或者是在警队以外的其他的部门，都承担了大量的额外的工作量， 所以我对我的公务员还是表示非常的这个感谢，也希望他们在这么艰难的日子里边能坚守他们的工作，为香港市民服务啊！多謝大家啊！